What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mark's Stock Review. Hope you're having a good day and a good trading week. I hope you enjoyed the last video on Foresight. This video is going to be on MicroVision. I'll be going over their progress and goals related to the automotive LiDAR. I'll summarize the Hindenburg report and their progress with their patents, and I'll clearly outline my take on the company. So I hope you find the video helpful. If you do, give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. That said, let's get right into it. Alright, so MicroVision focuses on laser beam scanning that they market under the brand name Pico-P. Basically, it's technology that creates high-resolution miniature projection displays and LiDAR sensors. It's then used as a foundation for multiple projects. They use it for consumer 3D LiDAR sensors for smart home applications. And it's also used for miniature HD displays to enable the future of augmented reality, mixed reality, and virtual reality. But most importantly, they're using it for automotive 3D LiDAR sensors for HD mapping and active collision avoidance. First, I'm going to go over their specs and progress in their automotive 3D LiDAR sensor before going over the company goals. Their first generation sensors are going to have a 10% reflectance and a range of 200 meters, which should allow a vehicle to avoid a piece of tire at highway speeds. Initial product tests have been completed, and they can suppress artifact from sunlight and other light sources, which is going to be their key feature. MicroVision is still working on meeting tech requirements for automotive OEMs, and their first generation sensor model should be ready for testing by April 2021. Alright, so moving on, from my point of view, MicroVision just has two main goals. One is partnerships with tier 1 automotive suppliers, and number 2 is to be bought by another company. Both goals make perfect sense. However, the second goal of being taken over is actually being stated publicly, and it's even on their investor presentation. And for me, that is not projecting strength as a company. Those discussions should be held privately. And so this brings up a logical question. Are many investors simply buying MicroVision in hopes of a takeover? And of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but I listed a few associated risk factors below to be considered. Next, I summarized some of the major points from the Hindenburg research report. I'm going to give you my take on each one. First, the claim that they're overvalued is misleading because it's almost impossible to value a company that's still in the developmental stages of automotive LiDAR. And next, having no significant revenue or IP is really just stating the obvious. And as far as I know, they have no inside information on the new patent that was just issued to the company, which may be all it takes to become a major takeover target. And using the EV bubble argument is just diluting their case because that could be said about any company related to the EV market. And lastly, they're biased because they can benefit financially. And also, I don't buy the Hyliion argument because if you short companies day after day, eventually you're going to be right. Shown here, I listed two major points of the newly issued patent, which I believe is much more concrete than a vague short attack. But that said, from my point of view, it's this patent that will determine whether the April 2021 demonstration is on time and successful. And as promised, because it was in my thumbnail, I'm going to mention whether I believe MicroVision is a takeover target. The simple answer from my point of view is no, not right now. However, in Q2 2021, I do think there's a strong possibility of a takeover if their current patent works out and their April 2021 demonstration is successful. I listed below some of the factors that companies consider when taking over another company like MicroVision, and clearly MicroVision is lacking a few. However, a successful Q1 should take care of the rest of the factors. And that summarizes my take on MicroVision. I don't think it's a stock to chase. That said, I do believe the share price could explode 2 to 3-fold in Q2 2021 based off of the information that I have now. And lastly, one of my subscribers asked me to compare MicroVision to Foresight Automotive Holdings, which was my last video, so I'm going to do that briefly. And so my point of view is that from the information we have today, Foresight is the clear, safer investment. They have very attractive passive sensors, and Rail Vision, which they have a significant stake in, has an existing contract. And MicroVision is less proven and the cost of switching business models is significant. However, that said, as long as they execute in Q1 2021, they should be a takeover target. And that does it for MicroVision. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.